Young Hunger official, welcome to the DialledIn by McGinn podcast.
What's happening, lad?
I'm all good. Can I actually ask you, how many podcasts have you been on before? Because, for a bit of context, you're a professional podcaster.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you say professional, but
no?
I think I've been on one or two, so I've been a guest on one or two, but I'd much rather ask the questions than give the questions I find. So.
Well, here we're getting out of our comfort zone today, so this is it.
Thanks for coming on our podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we're literally just off your podcast, so that'll be out in a few weeks' time, which I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me, because it actually means an awful lot, because I know in the past I'd listened to your podcast, listened to Andy Malone, listened to Daniel Dorgans, and go on to yours. I was like, wow, I can't believe this. So.
But I take, I don't even know, the amount of good information I've taken from your journey, mate, from the PwC to right up till now, mate, it's been phenomenal,
Appreciate it. You do this full time, don't you?
I'm definitely trying to do it full time. There's I do social media content for just to keep a wee bit of money coming in and stuff, but podcasting is the goal.
That's it.
And I wanna sort of talk to Irish entrepreneurs and business owners all over the world. So we've got a wee bit of news coming later on in the year, so stay tuned, lads, stay tuned.
I'll be on the loop. I'll be in the loop. But, just off that, so this is just going to be a very quick podcast, nothing like our one. It's going to be about 10 minutes. I'm literally just going to ask you a few questions for the DialledIn podcast. The main purpose of this is just to ask, similar to you, asking people who are dialed in, who are epic humans, and just epic humans giving advice to each other. So my first question, just want this to be pure value, because you got some good value to give.
Yeah.
What got you to actually start doing this podcast? Because obviously there probably was a bit of a gap in the market. What made you actually take action on it?
I think it was something in my head from years and years ago, to be honest. I actually went to a barber called Cathal Hart. That's Us Now, have you ever heard of him?
That's Us Now. I think I've heard that That's Us Now.
He's a business owner from Lisburn, and we went to him for years, and the guy is absolutely crushing it. He actually has a podcast now, by the way, so we'll check it out. But honestly, me and my brother and my best mates all went to him, and the man's making a pure fortune. And whenever he's cutting your hair, he's you're just talking and you're asking him questions about his business, how he's doing, and things he's doing well on. And one day I said to him, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions, just as we have done, but bring a camera? Because I'm sure other people are probably thinking about this, how someone found success in their chosen field. So always just had this fascination with success and successful people, what they're doing, and what I could take away and apply it myself. So he said no 3 or 4 times, and then I actually turned up one day with Ross and was like, lad, we've got a videographer here, and he's like, but we did it and never really looked back. It's pretty, it's been a journey, it's pretty mad. Yeah,
that's pretty cool, because so he said no. I thought you were about to say, oh, he pushed you into doing the podcast.
No, he said no a good few times, and you get your haircut every 2 weeks or something, so it was months. And I think the name Young Hunger actually came from a thought I had on the building site, and I came home one day and been this name Young Hunger, told everyone about it, and then they all said no, Young Hunger, what are you talking about? No, that's not a good name at all. And then I thought, fuck it, I like it, so I'm gonna run with it. And something similar to your story, I guess, getting told no, and then you get that yes. And that's your breakthrough, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. And you were on the building site before?
Yeah, I did a wee bit of labouring and stuff for a couple of guys. Absolutely not for me at all.
No?
No, not for me at all. But that's when the thoughts and the vision of who you want to be starts forming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that sort of dark times, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, love that. And then what actually made you take the leap? Did you have any limiting beliefs? Were you I'd imagine a lot of people right now, they're all right, I want to do X, I want to do Y.
Yeah.
But this person will say something, or I don't want to leave my job, or I'm a bit comfortable in this. What would you have to say to them?
I think the thought of staying in your job is a lot more scarier than going for what you actually want. Being 80 years old and not wanting to pursue this passion of podcasting and talking to interesting people and business owners, not doing that scares me more than doing it and not working. Does that make sense?
Yeah, knowing what you could have done, but you sat in your hole and you did nothing because you were scared. That
would eat away at me it would still eat away at me. I feel we can still push it so much more, and that even niggles away at me. But I feel not doing it definitely would hurt more. I feel but that you can take that into anything. Do you know what I mean? Not asking that girl out. 10 years time, you're oh, I should have asked her out. and it'll eat away at you. But if you did it and you get rejected, then you kind of know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. I hope that answers your question. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
100%. And then what are you going for now then? Like, where do you, I know, obviously earlier I said for me, I'm not a big person for like 5 years time, but would you have like a vision, right? I want to be interviewing these people, I want to be doing this in 5 years time or?
Yeah, I feel like I have this vision in my, I understand what you were saying earlier, but I have this vision in my head of like what I want to be in a couple of years. And like, as you say, doing the daily things to be that person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, I want to really go global. I want to really put that out there and speak it into the universe, to be honest. Sounds really like cuckoo saying that, but I want to really take, I want to take it out of Northern Ireland, but I want to keep like the Irish entrepreneurs element, like talk to like people in Australia, talk to people in America, like on a global scale. That's my vision.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can already see it. It's just speaking into existence, if that makes sense.
I'm trying to think now, are there any other podcasts run by an Irish person who interviews like CEOs, professionals? Not really. So like the gap is there.
Yeah.
The gap's 100%
Yeah.
there.
What about your podcast journey? Are you going to start?
My podcast?
Yeah.
I do love the podcast. Like I love this, like the interviewing, learning from different people, and I always take tidbits from it. But obviously, my podcast was just like, it was more so just like kind of a second thought. Like not a second. That sounds horrible. I love you guys.
Yeah.
But it was like I was doing the coaching, I was doing the social media, and I was like, I like the social media, but I want to actually be able to speak to my audience. I want to speak to them just as me, rather than just like 20 seconds and that's me gone. I want to actually give people the opportunity to get to know me and get to know the different people that I speak to and that I network with. So that was my idea behind it. In regards to the podcast, I would love to take it to like that next level.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I'm a massive believer that you have to only focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
See if you're trying, you know the person in school who might have like done everything, but they were never really, really good at one thing. You always want to make sure like you have that one goal. So you want to be really, really great at soccer. Well, you play a lot of soccer, you can't do boxing too.
Yeah.
You want to be the best boxer about. The best boxers about play soccer 4 times a week. No, like you need to focus on one thing. So the way I see it, I would love to take that podcast to the podcast to the next level, but like with the content, with Dialed In,
with the clubs,
it's like I'll do it so much. I need to like I like having it all, but I need to like focus on one thing. So at the moment, it's more so the coaching is like the main priority. The podcast will always be second thought. Clients come first, and then podcast after. That's the way I see it. Obviously for me, but then that's like for you, I'd say the podcast, like if that's your main thing, why not? Why not? And I can see it, like even when you were interviewing like Andy Malone and Daniel Dorgan, I was like, this is a great pod. Like I got so much out of the podcast. So like,
Daniel's a good guy. Daniel's a good guy. He's helped out.
Like it had an impact on me big time. Like see me seeing, I didn't see the Daniel Dorgan one. I seen his content, but it was the Andy Malone one. I seen that one. Back when I was in the 9 to 5, when I was starting, I was like, this is epic. Like I remember those clips. Andy Malone saying about waking up in the morning with purpose.
3 o'clock.
I seen that, and I was like, fuck, this is quality content. So
I respect the hustle, but then even you saying that, like all the doubts and worries, I feel like at the start that you may think. Even hearing it affect one person and help one person makes everything worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like
big time.
And that's all you need to start. To be honest,
it's affected me so much, and like even the fact you asked me on this today, it's affected me now, and like it's going to now affect me these next few weeks. Like, knowing, right, okay, I was asked on this podcast, this is amazing, and then like I'm going to show up harder. I'm going to whenever it's 6 o'clock and I wake up. Not trying to be Andy Malone at 3 o'clock. Like, I'm not that good. But whenever it's 6 o'clock and as Malone says, the pillows, you hit the soft side of the pillow. Whenever
he's right.
Yeah. Whenever I don't want to get up, I'll always remember, right, well, you got me in the podcast, like that means like I've got a message that you want people to hear my message. I'm like, right, I need to show up and actually spread this message and help people the way I do. So the fact that you've done that, thank you very much, my friend.
No problem. It's like honestly, like the podcast is the baby, and I only want to talk to people I'm interested in, and who we find interesting and ask interesting questions. So, mate, thank you so much for coming on, and thanks for inviting me onto your podcast.
Thanks for coming on the Dialed In. One last question. I remember on Daniel Dorgan's podcast you said about like having a date, and I obviously texted you about the Riz, and I was like, oh, we'll go out and do a few rejections today. Or like I said, oh, how'd the date go? What's the dating scene look like? Do you have any advice for any of the people who are struggling?
I actually think you said something really interesting earlier, like getting the 6 no's and then getting the 7th, getting the yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of a bit of a situation I'm in at the moment. So I was able to take that away from you and stuff, but
don't take dating advice off me, bro.
No.
Do not.
What else would I say? I'd feel like there's so much, to be honest. I'm actually not even a good guy to ask about dating advice. I've only been in one relationship.
But people love to see, not the struggle, not that it's a struggle, but people just love to see, like, whatever it is, like whatever you're sort of dealing with, someone else will be dealing with that. Get me?
I feel like you have to meet, for me personally, you have to meet people in person. I feel like the rejection therapy is probably very good for that. I feel like online dating is not for me at all. Like, are you on the apps or no?
Why'd you have to ask this on my pod? I'm not. Cut it out. No, so I used to use the apps when I was like working the 9 to 5. Then I deleted it when I stopped scrolling, when I started the business, when I started all that. And then I won't lie, recently I just re-downloaded them. I was on it for 5 minutes and I was like, nah, it's still on my phone, but I was like, not an effective way to use my time. So yeah. And then after Manchester last week, I was like, the in-person stuff, you cannot beat it. Like, you cannot beat the in-person, because people know who you are straight away. They can actually see your face. They can see how you speak. They can see how you move. They know who you are. Online, it's like there's so many questions. Like, oh, would you like? You'll near enough need to like, oh, can you send a video? Like, you don't know who they are. Yeah.
It is weird thinking about it, isn't it? Where's next for you? Where's the next city you're going to?
The next what?
City, like you were doing Manchester, Dublin.
Yeah. Good question. So, what am I doing? I think I'll be doing Belfast this week.
Oh yeah.
And then
we should go away. This just came into my head here. We should go away to the city.
Yeah.
Do a bit of rejection therapy.
London would be a good one.
Do you think so?
Well, to be fair, London, like I think there's a lot of mad heads in London, so maybe not. Maybe like Newcastle, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywhere, wherever the wind takes me.
Good uni scene and stuff. Did you go to uni? No.
So what I was doing with the 9 to 5, that was part of uni.
Oh,
so I was like a higher level apprenticeship. So when I dropped out of the 9 to 5, I also dropped out of the uni. So I'm also a dropout too. So.
Yeah. I mean, that makes the best entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I can now say I'm a uni dropout. I think Bill Gates, was he a dropout?
I think so.
I can say I'm like Bill Gates now. So they got because like whenever I was, it's just a random piece of advice, whatever. Whenever I was thinking of leaving the 9 to 5, I was actually thinking of like doing an extra uni course that might have took 2 or 3 years. And people told me to do that, but that was me trying to like cling on to my past life and like near enough have a bit of a backup plan and like be like, oh, I'm still kind of doing uni, but I just think go all in. Have a one thing. If I'm trying to do the uni degree, still keeping on the uni degree, I'll leave the 9 to 5. It's still. I was like, nah, just dial in.
Did you feel like you nearly had to let go of who you were in order for you to become the man that you are now?
I had to let go of the things that I was doing then. I still feel like the same person. Like I don't really think I've become a brand new person, but now it's just like obviously more probably just more loud, not actually loud, but like obviously what I'm saying, the content I'm actually uploading, it's more loud, and that is actually more what I wanted to do beforehand. I would say. So
yeah, no, I was just saying, like the very first time I seen your content, you were still working with PwC, the big wave of hair and all.
Big wave of hair.
Yeah, now you're matured, and you're the man now.
Yeah, that was. So you saying was the first video of me leaving my 9 to 5, or it was like a few vlogs?
I think you were in the midst of leaving. I think.
Yeah, because I remember the last 2 weeks of the 9 to 5, I leaned in on them vlogs because I was like, right, I'm leaving. Let's make as much 9 to 5 content as I can, so I can track the 9 to 5ers before I don't have that part of my life. I leaned in on them big time.
How'd your family take it whenever you said you were leaving?
I kind of headed it months before. I was like, it's so hard to like balance all this out. It's better to focus on one thing. They're like, no, don't. You're in a great position. You're making good money in your corporate job. You're a young lad, getting his uni degree plus got the corporate job. Like, why would you leave that? Why would you? Like, you'd be stupid to leave that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I'm stupid.
No, I love
it because I'm leaving. So yeah, just like literally, they know they just kind of said nah. But I was like, well, I'm an adult. And they never fell out with me. As soon as I told them, they're like, fair enough. They were like, oh, you did it, so like, fair enough.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like that people in those corporate jobs and stuff aren't happy? Do you ever see that?
Some people aren't. Some people are. Like, it's not a case that if you're in the rat race, you work a 9 to 5, you're unhappy, I hate you. It just depends. Like, success is different for different people. Some people really do want a business or have a message they want to send. Some people want to do social media. Some people don't. Some people like having that job and they're actually interested in what they do. Some people are great at spreadsheets. Some people are great making PowerPoints. Some people love that. Even love the corporate balance too, like going out for drinks after. So it just depends. But yeah, no matter what industry, there's going to be entrepreneurs that are unhappy. There's going to be content creators that are unhappy. So it literally, yeah. So yes, there are people that are unhappy, but in every industry there will be.
Would you ever drink alcohol and stuff or not?
Oh yeah, I drink.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have periods where I'll go off it. Like initially launched my business, I went off it for 3 months. Now at the moment, I'm bulking. I'm a bit more like flexible with it. Yeah. So I would have it now and again, but I'll probably go off it now at the start of the cut and then wait to Ibiza and then start drinking again. So I think. A lot of people say balance, but I think it's more so consistency, say over 3 months, and then you can fit it back in. Yeah. So at the moment, now like it just depends. Like that date I had last week, I had a few drinks. Won't lie. Or like some of the client events I've been to, I had a few drinks. Yeah. But yeah, then I'll just go off it for a while now. So that's pretty much it. We'll wrap up here. But thank you so much for coming on. And
no, mate, thank you so much.
What's before you go? One piece of advice. Let's spur it.
One piece of advice. What on?
On someone that's hungry, they're young, and they want to just they want to move forward.
I feel like whatever is in your head that you want to do, no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone's, I guess, critiques or how would you say it, ill thoughts against that. If you have that vision in your head, I would say just follow it, trust it, and go from there, and it will all fall into place. So that's what I would say.
Time to dial in.
Mate, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys, and remember, will you tell them the rate and review? You don't actually say that in your podcast, no?
What's the what?
Rate and review.
Rate and review.
You don't say that in your podcast.
No, I don't.
Well, you're the professional. Don't rate and review. I'm gonna follow the professional. Don't rate and review. And yeah, check out Young Hunger official Instagram.
Yeah, that's the one.
All the best, folks. Thank you. Boom. It's always a nice casual.